So welcome back. We're speaking with Marilyn Harper, Bette Midler of the Midwest. And before the break, we were talking about channeling and Adironda. And Marilyn, I'd like to ask you to explain who or what Adironda is.
I love the way you asked that question. Who or what Adironda is. You know, Adironda came through in 1999 and is a multidimensional being from the 17th dimension and is a spokesbeing for a council of 12 or more beings that have been in physical form on Earth or are a part of the angelic realm. And that's in their very first transmission, that's what they stated, is they came in and they were very clear. I am multidimensional, I'm from 17th dimension, I am the spokesbeing for a council, and they said that they are the gatekeeper for me. They call me the vessel. They're the gatekeeper to make sure that all energies that come through are of the light and there's nothing that's going to harm me in any way. And you know, when that happened, I didn't believe in channeling. I'd had psychics and tarot readings and astrology readings, and they all said that I was supposed to bring in messages from other realms, and I'm like, you know, I don't think so.
Not me.
Not me. No. I sell advertising.
Don't sign me up for that one.
You know, and after I woke up to the fact that I was a walk-in, I really set about working on being all that I am. I really set about letting go of anything that no longer serves me and embracing anything that does. And somehow along the line, I raised up my hand and volunteered and said, I will do anything, I will go anywhere, I will say anything as long as you can prove to me that you are source energy, or God is what I used, the term I used then, moving through me. Well, I guess that was the volunteer for Adironda to come to pick me as a vessel. And Adironda's energy is, you know, it's kind of like Abraham with Esther and Abraham, very much like Lee Carroll and Cryon. In fact, I've just recently been embraced into the Cryon family. And so I'll be traveling with Cryon. Yeah, thank you.
Are you going to Kelowna up in Canada?
I'm not. I wish I were. You know, I kicked myself. I had the opportunity, and I just kicked myself for not taking it this time. I will next time.
Okay.
Are you in Kelowna?
No, I'm going to go. But anyway, we're getting off track. So I have a question about that. I have a question about Adironda as it relates to your walk-in. And for those who don't know what walk-ins are, just briefly, it's someone is walking around, they have an accident, and then the being that's in their body leaves and another one comes in, right?
Yes.
So that's my question for you, yeah, just like brief.
Like a soul exchange, is that what you're saying?
A soul exchange, right.
Yeah. Okay. So, but my question to you is, the being that came in, was that a being that had many lifetimes before this?
Yes, and Adironda was not the being that came in when I walked in. That came later. The being, the soul that I am, walked in 1993, woke up in 1996, is the soul that has divine inspiration, is the essence of who I am. And I am an activator. I am a translator. And that's who I am. During that awakening process in 1996, I volunteered and said, I really choose to have all the talents and skills that I can have. Most walk-ins have a burning desire to make a difference in the world, and that burning desire really carried me through into Adironda. Now, you know, when when in the 90s, I had no clue what I was volunteering for. I had no earthly idea. I was still saying, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Sometimes I think maybe we shouldn't ask that question.
Maybe
Get into trouble every time.
That's right.
But the thing is when we do ask that question, and when we make a statement that said, I really choose to live my true essence, my true divinity, doing whatever is in the highest good to do. And, the Adironda, I'm a healing practitioner. I see into people's bodies when I do healing work. And I'm developing my own technique to eventually certify people in something that I call holographic healing, and it's working quite well. And I would go into this 17th dimension, I guess, when I slept. And so that's where Adironda's energy and my energy matched up the first time. And they saw that I could physically hold the energy of being a trance channel without having physical repercussions. I actually then eventually merged with Adironda and the council, and many of the council they're probably my own higher self, so it was not that foreign to me. But the council, they called themselves the team at first. But now they have just recently identified themselves as the Council of Light. And I think that that's because in the 90s, in 2000, when I first began this journey, I would never have accepted a council, the lofty energy of a council, wanting to speak through me, Marilyn Harper, in Springfield, Missouri.
Little old lowly you.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. They just said, just think of us as a team. And then they shifted to, we're the company, we're your company. And Adironda, their energy is very much different than my energy. And when Adironda comes in, even people, I do a double-digit channeling once a month, and even people in all parts of the world feel the shift of the energy when Adironda comes in. And they have that capability. When I speak on stages in front of, 800 to 1,000 people now, even the people in the back row feel that energy, and that sort of, as Adironda says, I'm the activator. They are an activator too, and they magnify the energy that we work with. And so, and they're dimensional, so they can get to a lot of information that I could never get to.
So what is the Council of Light, and what's the importance as far as you're concerned?
Well, I think the Council of Light is probably a similar council that many channels, there's more channels now on the planet than ever before. And I believe, in my belief system, I believe everyone is a channel. And I don't think you have to do anything particular to be a channel. I just think you have to just get out of your own way. But the Council of Light, the way they identify themselves, and they don't very often. They only heard one person years ago say something about, wow, so-and-so talked to me. I see he didn't talk to you. And so they never identified themselves after that until 2014. But on the council, and it is changing a little bit, are the archangels Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. Master Jesus, who after I went to Israel, identified himself as Yeshua ben Joseph, or Yahshua ben Joseph, as his real name. He says, my name is not Jesus, and my last name is not Christ.
Did he say it with that Texas accent?
No, he sounded he was Hebrew. But he was very specific. But Mother Mary also, Kuan Yin, Isis, Osiris, Ra, Sekhmet, Babaji, Saint Germain, Elohim came in for the 1111 I think 11/11 or 12/12, 2014. That was the first time Elohim had come in, and that was pretty significant. I had to Google who's Elohim, because the only thing I knew of was God. Elohim is the Hebrew word for God, and they didn't argue with that. So it was a pretty hefty transmission when Elohim came in, and they came in again this year on the 12/12. So there's something there with the date that's pretty powerful. And they came in on the 1/1. But let's see, that's somewhere close to 12. We've had people that say, well, I want to see the council. And they actually took my hands and they kind of fell back in their chair and started to weep as the whole council showed themselves. The whole company showed themselves. And they said they saw hundreds. But,
So you hang out with the heavyweights.
Yeah, what can I say?
Well, I think it's interesting how you say that everybody can channel. I mean, that it's not just, you or anybody that we know, like Cryon or Lee Carroll and things like that. So everybody has the potential to do it. What I think I'd like to ask is, what does the council say, or Adironda and company, how do they relate to your job here as to, I can do anything if only I knew what it was? I mean, do they see us all as having a purpose and an essence?
Yes, they do. They do see, and when we do that workshop, I can do anything if only I knew what it was. Mm-hmm. We go around, hopefully to each person that's present and hold the space for them to get it, for them to walk away with that knowledge of, this is what I'm here to be. This is what I'm here to do. Sometimes you get that discrepancy between being and doing that's a little challenging. And I think that's where the council comes in, because with Adironda, I use that reference with the council, we can see who you are. We can see who you have been. We can see who you will be, because we work in the Akashic records. So then it comes down to what brings you the most joy right here, right now. And with that energy, then we identify it. And so I believe in the channeling, I do private sessions. Mm-hmm. And in the private session work that I do, as you know, what are my top 3 questions? What's my purpose? Where's my sweetheart?
And how much money am I going to make?
Exactly.
Or when am I going to get a job? That's another one.
What day is my sweetheart going to show up? Or why isn't my husband my sweetheart?
So those are the 3?
Yeah, those are the 3 top questions. Yeah. And
I suspected they may be very similar to the ones I would get.
Exactly.
I'm sure they are. But in that energy with the council, what they do is they go into, your own energy, and they feel it out, and they see that you say you love being a television personality, but you're not doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And so what stops you? And they can look into your Akashic records and see where that program was set up to stop you from living your destiny. And then through a series of energetic exercises, we release it. And I've had, tremendous luck with people. They've written their books, they've been on TV, they've become a speaker, or, I had one person that, bless her heart, she was almost embarrassed in this group. And she said, well, I'm really pretty shy. I can't stand up and talk like you can. I can't do sessions. I'm not a channel, even though we know she was. And I say, but when she smiled, she just brightened everything around her. She was like, wow, you could feel that energy expand. Well, she wanted to know what her purpose was and how she could live it. Well, she was a Walmart greeter. So she smiled at everybody. So she was already living her purpose. And and I said, "Do you like being a Walmart greeter?" And she was really embarrassed. And she said, "Yes, I do." Because that's her purpose. So she could be going to a group in church. She could be going anywhere. And as long as she was interacting with people to awaken them, she was living her purpose. And I think that that's what people get, so many people, they get a reading from somebody and the reading says, well, you're a widget maker. Your destination is to be a widget maker. Your purpose is to make widgets. Well, they may not even like widgets. They may not even have that in their capabilities. So that's why it's really a part of your joy. Does that make sense? Am I using
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes perfect sense. So many times, people are looking outside of themselves to you or me or other people to find their purpose for them.
Yes. They like that microwave. Okay, you tell me what I'm here to do.
Right.
No.
Right. And then, some people, like me, that puts an incredible pressure on me to try to come up with their answers for them. And that's again, there's my real pet peeve, is that it's your journey, not my journey.
Exactly.
Embark on it. Take it. Go.
You can take those clues in your energy field. I do numerology. You do astrology. You can take those clues in your astrological chart, and you can take those clues in many different avenues. My numerology with my maiden name, Marilyn Jo Seward, my married name, Marilyn Jo Harper, my second husband's name, Marilyn Jo Hannah. I know a secret that no one else knows. My second married name was, but I went back to Harper. My soul name, Mara Hashananai. When you do all the numerology on all of those, they all come up with 11 as the life purpose, 22 as the life force, and 7 as the energy of how I'm to represent myself. I mean, I don't have a choice. And my walk out was a Pisces with a Virgo moon and a Cancer rising. My walk in, which you really combine both charts. My walk in was a double Taurus with a Leo rising. So it's like,
wow.
So
Cancer wants to hide. Leo wants to be out there.
Exactly. So
it's too funny.
Yeah, it really is. But I believe that in that, when you find what it is that you are here to be, what it is that you are here to express and experience, that one key, like inspiration, that one key, if you allow that to frame all the different avenues of your life and say, well, does that fit into this divine inspiration? No. Okay, so I'm not going to go down that avenue. Does that fit into this? No, so I'm not going to go there. Does that fit into this? Yes. Okay, let me pursue that. When that happens, all those things working together, that it's much easier to follow through. I read a story about someone that in meditation, she kept asking the question, what do I want to be when I grow up? And when we would take that question into meditation, she wanted to, all she saw was being a dog sled racer. So eventually she took a leave from her work, which she hated, to be a dog sled racer. And she took 6 weeks or 8 weeks off and went up to Minnesota to those dog sled races. And she became a dog sled racer. After she raced once, she said, okay, I'm done with that. I don't have to do that. But what it did for her was it gave her the courage to realize that she does not have to stay in a job that she hates. First of all, she looks at that job and she realizes that she can do anything. If she can race dogs, right, and then she can do anything. So she went back to her job. She saw the adventure in it, because sometimes you have to look at find the good parts in your job before you're sort of released from it. And she found a new job in something that was exciting and adventurous that she loved. And, that's just the way it works.
Interesting. So we need to take a break here. So when we come back, though, I want to go back to, you were talking about the Akashic Records, and I have a really interesting question I want to ask about that. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.